Hey there YouTube, this is 101 Bronson back here again. And today we're going to be taking a look at my Chuck Norris DVD collection. Like I said, not as big as some of the other DVD collections I have. It's like comparable to the Dolph DVDs I have in that it's quite modest, as you can see. However, there's still enough for me to actually do a video covering the movies of Chuck Norris. So let's start, shall we? First up is this little box set over here containing 6 movies from Germany once again. The movies are Code of Silence, The Delta Force, Hero and the Terror, Lone Wolf McQuade, Missing in Action, and Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. Code of Silence I thought was okay. Not my favorite Chuck Norris movies, but still okay. It reminded me a lot of Above the Law with Steven Seagal. Same director, same music, same sort of premise. Even the bad guy is the same. Really similar. In terms of that, I think Above the Law did the story and the characters better, but that's just me. The Delta Force, which I actually also own separately from the box set. Great movie. Oh, now we have that, by the way. Delta Force. Great movie. I love the music. The main theme by Alan Silvestri I think is fantastic. Great action theme. Catchy too. I mean, first few times I watched this movie I had that tune stuck in my head for a few days. Lee Marvin is excellent. The late great Robert Forster from Jackie Brown, who was Max Cherry in that movie. He was in the Delta Force as the bad guy. I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, Delta Force, great movie. Next up is Hero and the Terror, which I also have on Blu-ray, separate from the box set. Of course, Blu-ray is the preferred way for me to watch it. Might be one of my favorite Chuck Norris movies, actually. I really like that one. Lone Wolf McQuade, another classic Chuck Norris movie. I love that film. Missing in Action I thought was okay. I know it was a year before Rambo First Blood Part 2, but it was for me it was a little too similar to Rambo First Blood Part 2. I thought that movie did the story better of one man, aka Chuck Norris, also Sylvester Stallone, going into Vietnam, rescuing POWs, whether it's Rambo or James Braddock, I think his name was in the movie. I thought Rambo First Blood Part 2 did that better. I still liked it. It was still a cheesy, over-the-top 80s action film, and I liked it. I like the sequel better though. Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. I like that. I like the whole concept of him being stuck in the POW camp, in the Vietnamese prison camp. I thought Sun Tak O, I hope I pronounced that right, he did great as the villain, in my opinion, as Colonel Tin or whatever his name was. I don't remember right now off the top of my head, but I thought he was fantastic. He was a great campy, over-the-top villain. I enjoyed every moment he was on screen, and I liked the struggle of them being in the prison camp and then trying to escape. I thought it was a great movie, actually. So you've already seen the separate DVD of Delta Force, and then comes the sequel, the Delta Force 2, or just Delta Force 2, The Colombian Connection, right there, with Billy Drago is in it. I thought he was fantastic as the villain once again. The movie itself I thought was a little lesser than Delta Force 1. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it as much as Delta Force 1. I still enjoyed it, but not as much as its predecessor. And then is Hero and the Terror on Blu-ray, or as it's just called Hero in Germany apparently. Nothing further to add. One of my favorite Chuck Norris movies, actually. Next up is another great 80s classic, Invasion USA. Look at that poster. Dual wielding mini Uzis. Love it. Absolutely love it. I would love to own that poster, actually, of Chuck Norris there. I don't think I have room for it on my walls, but still like to have it regardless. And last but not least is another Blu-ray, Silent Rage. This is like Chuck Norris meets that guy, Michael Myers. It's really like Chuck Norris meets Halloween. There's like this unstoppable, silent, hence the title, killing machine going around. Pretty horror-esque, and Chuck Norris is the only man for the job, of course. So I liked it. I really did. And that was my Chuck Norris collection. However, the video is not over yet. You might have seen it from the description up there or down there somewhere. But there's also another Arnold Schwarzenegger DVD update here, and they're over here. Since the last time we covered Arnold Schwarzenegger, I've gained quite a few new movies of him, so let's take a look at these movies, shall we? First up is a upgrade from DVD to Blu-ray for Commando. This actually has a director's cut on and tons of special features, and my DVD was pretty much bare bones in that department, so definitely an upgrade. Nothing further to add though. One of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. It's silly, it's over the top, it's cheesy, but I love it. Next up is the Blu-ray of Last Action Hero. Actually, the first Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I ever saw as a kid. On VHS, if you can believe that. So that's why I really cannot say anything negative about this film. This was my first Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I saw. Grew up with this movie. Watched it countless times on VHS. I love it. I don't get all the hate this movie is getting from a lot of people, but I love it. Great lines in it, like when he meets Charles Dance for the first time, and Charles Dance says, "Why don't you and Toto go hit the bricks? Any questions?" "Yeah, 2 of them." He lights a cigar. "Why am I wasting my time with somebody like you when I could be doing something more dangerous in my life, like rearranging my sock drawer? And second, how are you going to snap your fingers after I rip off both your thumbs?" Because he has this thing, he snaps his fingers and he has these guard dogs. Yeah, it makes more sense in the movie, but yeah. Next up, The Last Stand, Arnold Schwarzenegger's comeback movie from 2012, already 8 years ago. I actually like this movie. Sure, it had some bad CGI here and there, but overall I did enjoy it. Just like this movie, Maggie, Arnold Schwarzenegger's version of The Last of Us. No, that's just kidding, of course, but I do think that the writers of this film played The Last of Us for inspiration, shall we say, because it deals with a zombie virus, apocalyptic world, you know. Arnold kind of reminds me of Joel with the beard in the film, and she could be Ellie for that matter. Maybe, right? I mean, I definitely see some similarities there, but that's not to say it totally rips off The Last of Us. It has its own little story going on there. And I think it was actually a pretty decent film. It's not a high octane action film or anything, but it's a more personal drama story, and Arnold Schwarzenegger actually does a good job acting wise. Next up, another upgrade to Blu-ray, Predator. Actually contains also the 3D Blu-ray, but I don't have a 3D Blu-ray player, so I can't watch that. But I do have a buddy of mine who has, so I can watch it over at his place. We've already did that, so. But it also contains a standard 2D Blu-ray. But again, a lot of special features, making of, documentaries. I believe it even has a audio commentary from the director, so yeah. Predator on Blu-ray, there you go. Next up, Raw Deal from Germany, so don't pay attention to the title, it's a German title. Raw Deal, 1986, Arnold Schwarzenegger infiltrates the mob. It sounds silly, but it's actually a pretty good film, in my opinion. Paul Shenar, who was in Scarface, which I have right here on my wall, you can't quite see it, it's a big Scarface thing. Yeah, but he was Alejandro Sosa in Scarface, he's one of the villains in this movie. So I kind of, in my way, like to think of it as Arnold Schwarzenegger getting even for the death of Tony Montana. Because he does kill the actor that played Sosa and Scarface in this movie. Robert Davi was also in it. Great villain. His best villain performance was License to Kill though, but we're gonna get to James Bond, don't worry. Next up, another awesome Blu-ray release from Germany. The Running Man in Steelbook form with a little shiny plastic slipcover, which goes off just like that. So yeah, look at that. That's it's a Steelbook, like I said. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. 2 discs, loaded with special features. I liked it. Definitely one of the more classic Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Here is Sub-Zero. Now, Plane Zero. I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine. Sorry for the bad Arnold impression. It's one of those impressions I get kind of lost in, like I cannot stop doing it once I do it. Yeah. That might be funny for you guys, but not so much for me. Anyway, Running Man, recommended, great movie. Moving on. My favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie has now came into my possession on Blu-ray. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Actually, this is from the print of the re-release that they did a few years ago. They re-released the theaters. I actually caught it in theaters, so I saw Terminator 2 on the big screen. Fucking love it. Still my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Has some special features on it. And 3 different versions of the film. The theatrical version, the director's cut, and the director's cut with the alternate ending instead of the regular ending. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Next up is another Arnold classic that I didn't own before, but I have seen it, of course. Total Recall, with Sharon Stone in a great role again. I mean, say what you want about Sharon Stone right now, but in the 90s I think she was pretty hot actually. Michael Ironside is the villain in this one, alongside Ronnie Cox. Paul Verhoeven directed this film. He's Dutch, just like me, so that's a plus, of course. No, great movie. See you at the party, Richter. Great one-liners, like I said. I mean, yeah, see you at the party, Richter. You got, come on, Cohagen, give these people air. You think this is the real Quaid? It is. Yeah, I can quote this movie entirely, but we don't have enough time for that. Last but certainly not least, another upgrade to Blu-ray. Twins. Co-starring Danny DeVito, directed by Ivan Reitman. I owned this one on DVD before, like I said, but the DVD wasn't exactly the best transfer of the film. It kind of looked like a VHS copy, to be honest, but this, great picture quality, great sound, definitely an upgrade. I got rid of the DVD now. Blu-ray is the way to go. So there you go. Those are my Chuck Norris movies and my updated Arnold Schwarzenegger collection. If you want to see the rest of the Arnold Schwarzenegger collection, it's in the playlist. I'm going to put this video in, so check it out. One thing I do want to do before we're going to wrap this up, I want to retract a statement I made previously on an Arnold Schwarzenegger film regarding the movie Junior. I said it's like one of the worst movies ever made, and I want to get rid of it. If it was up to me, I would throw it in a trash can, right? I believe I was really harsh on the film. It's grown on me. Alright? It's still not a perfect comedy movie, it's still not a great movie, but it's grown on me and I do like it now. It's watchable, it's okay, in my opinion. So, having said that, hope you enjoyed this video. Next up, I'm gonna cover I'm thinking we're gonna move into genre, so I could do my horror genre. You know? Like I said, I have all the Halloween movies, some Friday the 13th movies, Chucky, Alien is a huge thing that I love, horror-wise. So I do have quite a few horror movies, or I might move into my spaghetti westerns, but we're gonna move away from like actor movies because most of my movies I have categorized for the actor that is in it. And now we're gonna actually move into genres. Spaghetti westerns and horror films mostly. And after that, I think we should be almost done with everything in my collection. I do have Jack Nicholson to cover, actor-wise, right? Jack Nicholson, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro, and Sean Connery. But before I get to those four, and then I have all the rest of my collection that isn't necessarily categorized. But before we do that, let's move into my genre films. So spaghetti westerns is up next, my favorite genre, my favorite subgenre actually, in existence. So stay tuned for that. I might record that straight after this, so definitely stay tuned for that. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and so long for now.